Bro, you've been giving her everything. Your time, your attention, your emotional energy. You text her first thing in the morning. You double text when she doesn't respond. You clear your schedule when she calls. And what did you get back? Distance, shorter responses, delayed replies. That cold, detached energy that feels like ice water in your veins. You thought more love would create more love. You thought more effort would earn more effort. But here's the psychological reality that's going to shift everything for you. The moment you stop chasing is the moment she starts. This isn't some manipulative game. This is core human psychology. This is how attraction actually works at the deepest, most primal level. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why pulling away creates magnetic attraction and how you can use this psychological principle to completely transform your dating life. But first, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're holding a beach ball underwater. The deeper you push it down, the more pressure builds underneath. The more force you apply, the more resistance you create. But the moment you let go, that ball rockets to the surface with explosive force. This is exactly what happens when you pull away from a woman who's been taking your attention for granted. Your constant pursuit was the pressure pushing her down. Your neediness was the force creating resistance. But when you withdraw that pressure, when you stop pushing, something powerful happens. She surfaces, and she surfaces hard. Here's the first psychological principle you need to understand. Scarcity creates value. When you're always available, always texting, always there, you become abundant. And what happens to abundant resources? They get taken for granted. But the moment something becomes scarce, the human brain immediately assigns it higher value. Think about it. The restaurants with long waiting lists, the clubs with velvet ropes, the luxury brands that limit production. Scarcity doesn't just create value, it creates desire. When you pull away, you're not playing games. You're stepping into your own scarcity. You're becoming the prize instead of chasing the prize. And her brain, operating on millions of years of evolutionary wiring, immediately recognizes this shift. The second principle, emotional investment follows attention. Here's what most men get backwards. They think showing more interest will make her more interested. They think emotional investment should be matched equally. But psychology doesn't work that way. The person who invests more becomes more attached. The person who puts in more effort becomes more invested. When you were constantly pursuing her, constantly giving attention, constantly investing emotional energy, you were programming yourself to be more attached to her. But she wasn't investing anything back. She was receiving, taking, consuming your energy without reciprocating. The moment you pull away, that dynamic flips. Now she has to invest to get your attention. She has to put in effort to reach you. She has to work for what she was getting for free. And the psychological rule is ironclad. We value what we work for. The third principle, uncertainty creates obsession. When you were predictable, always texting back immediately, always available, always emotionally reactive, she knew exactly where she stood with you. She had you figured out, categorized, filed away. But uncertainty is psychological cocaine. When you pull away, you become unpredictable. She doesn't know what you're thinking. She doesn't know what you're feeling. She doesn't know if she still has you. And that uncertainty triggers something deep in her brain. The need to know, the need to solve the puzzle, the need to regain control over the situation. She starts thinking about you more, wondering about you more, creating mental stories about what you're doing and who you're with. This is where the chase begins. The fourth principle, contrast creates impact. If you've been hot and cold with her, sometimes pursuing, sometimes pulling back, this won't work. Inconsistency isn't strategy, it's just confusing. But if you've been consistently available, consistently pursuing, consistently giving your energy freely, then a complete withdrawal creates massive contrast. She was used to your morning texts. Now her phone is silent. She was used to your attention. Now you're focused elsewhere. She was used to your emotional availability. Now you're emotionally unavailable. This contrast hits her system like a shockwave, and that shockwave triggers the chase response. The fifth principle, social proof through absence. When you pull away, something interesting happens in her social reality. Other people start noticing your absence. Her friends ask where you went. She has to explain why you're not around anymore. And in that explanation, she's forced to confront the reality of what she lost. She's forced to articulate your value to other people. She's forced to defend why she let you go. This external pressure amplifies the internal pressure she's already feeling. Now it's not just her missing you, it's her entire social circle reminding her of what she gave up. The sixth principle, the psychology of loss aversion. Human beings are wired to fear loss more than they desire gain. When you were pursuing her, you were offering gain, more attention, more affection, more emotional connection. But gain doesn't create urgency. Loss does. When you pull away, you're not offering her something new. You're threatening to take away something she had, and her brain responds to that threat with immediate action. She doesn't want to lose you. She doesn't want to lose the validation. She doesn't want to lose the option, so she chases to prevent the loss. But here's what most men get wrong when they try this approach. They pull away for a few days, then break the moment she shows any interest. They use withdrawal as a tactic, not a genuine shift in their own value system. They're still operating from neediness. They're just hiding it better. Real power comes from genuinely pulling away because you recognize your own worth. Real magnetic attraction happens when you withdraw, not to get her attention, but because you have better things to focus your attention on. When you pull away from a place of abundance, when you withdraw because you're building something meaningful in your life, that's when she feels the real shift. She doesn't just miss your attention, she misses the man she realizes she was taking for granted. Here's the truth most men can't handle. The woman who doesn't chase you when you pull away, she was never really interested in the first place. You can't create attraction when none exists. You can't manufacture desire through strategy. But the woman who was attracted to you, who was just comfortable taking your energy for free, she'll chase when that energy becomes scarce. She'll reach out when the silence becomes too loud. She'll invest when she realizes what she's about to lose. And that's when you'll know the difference between genuine interest and casual entertainment. The men who understand this principle don't need to chase anyone. They build lives so compelling that people naturally want to be part of them. They develop identities so strong that withdrawal doesn't diminish them. It reveals their true value. They operate from such internal abundance that scarcity becomes their natural state. Remember this, you don't win love by losing yourself. You don't create attraction by sacrificing your power. And you don't build lasting connections by making yourself too available for someone who won't match your energy. Pull away, not as a strategy, but as a statement. A statement that your time is valuable, your attention is earned, your emotional energy is precious, and watch how quickly she remembers what she's been taking for granted. The chase isn't about games, it's about knowing your own worth.